In My Hero Ultra Fumble, the all-for-one characters, not you though, share the ability to take an opposing character's quirk and swap between them and his own skills. The only difference is that AFO has different falling speed, run speed, and melees, which can sometimes have an influence on the quirk's effectiveness. Some footnotes before we start are, he can't use his own quirk special action, it has a 15-second cooldown between swapping between quirks, and has all the same damage and reload properties involved, not counting the basic buffs from each class, of course. Quirks will be separated into 6 different categories, bottom to top in this order. Little to no value, niche, okay, definite value, different playstyle, and can replace AFO quirk. All tiers will be explained when we get there. The tiers are not ordered, meaning if you see a quirk at the top of a certain tier and one at the bottom, one is not necessarily better or worse. This is mainly due to how there are 2 different AFOs, which makes it impossible to distinguish between those 2, like in one specific list. Lastly, if a quirk is theoretically ranked as A tier on red AFO and C tier on purple AFO, for example, it will be ranked A tier. It doesn't come up too often anyway, so don't worry about it. Little to no value. I think this tier is pretty self-explanatory. Getting these quirks gives you either no value at all, or just not very much consistently. We will start off with the beloved Tech Dobby. So Tech Dobby's whole point, like of the entire character, is that he's able to lock down a room in a certain environment. Where that's great and all if he's high level. If he's low level, he's pretty bad at that as it is anyway. Thing is, both AFOs are able to do that very well. Purple AFO, every single one of his skills is able to lock down a room. You have push, you have beta, which can lock down a hallway, you have alpha, which can push people away. It's a charge shot. And red AFO, he just has his beta, which you set it down and it's there for a while. It's not very useful on him. Very, very rarely would be good. Green overhaul. This character sucks. But we're talking about the quirk, which also sucks. If you actually had to ask me which one on this list is genuinely the worst, I would probably say this. Depends on the environment, but I'd probably say this. The quirk is completely useless and trash if you don't have a level 9 gamma. And if you have a low level gamma, which you could justify not leveling up first on both the AFOs, it doesn't do anything. Your alpha doesn't do enough damage to justify the knockdown. The beta is too hard to hit, like consistently get damage when both of them have a consistent way of dealing damage. There's no point to it. It genuinely doesn't do anything at all. Red Bakugo it's interesting. You could say theoretically his alpha can hit through walls, but so can purple AFO beta, and even on red AFO, I wouldn't even say it's worth the time really. Because Bakugo without special action feels bad. Like if you want to understand what I'm talking about, either get the quirk on AFO or just play Bakugo without special action. It does not feel good at all. The only move in the kit that might even be worth talking about is the Gamma. When first of all, red AFO's Gamma does just as much as it is anyway, and wouldn't stuck you in a quirk with no movement for 15 seconds. And even on purple, the gamma is actually easy to predict because everybody knows Bakugo Gamma if you have it. But it needs to be a high enough level to justify it. It's not like either of the AFOs really have trouble doing damage. That's going to come up a lot. You're going to hear me say that a lot. Lastly, for little to no value tier, I think Ibarra is down here. And the first thought that comes to your mind when you think of Ibarra quirk is obviously the stupid grab, which just deletes your HP. You could say AFO pull, like purple pull, charge shot beta, whatever, catch the wake up into a grab. You could say that, but it's like you're only hitting so much more than you will with a normal charge shot anyway, and a lot of the time when you're getting a grab, their shield might be broken anyway, to be honest, if you're playing purple AFO. And you need to have a high level gamma to even justify it, and then you're stuck as a Bara, who's not the greatest at doing damage in every situation for 15 seconds. Yeah, and it's really hard to justify swapping to it. I'm not saying you're not going to get any value of any of these. I'm just saying it's going to be very few in a far times between when you actually do. We're going to go to niche tier now. I mean, I think this is pretty self-explanatory. Niche tier pretty much just means what the word means. It's like it's not useful in many scenarios. It can be in very, very few. Very inconsistently value. You're almost never going to get high value out of it as well. When I first made this list the other day, I had Tokiyami down in, what's it called, Little No Value, but I just played a match and I had the shield, and guess what? It was pretty damn good. Obviously, the alpha's useless. The beta's not bad. It's a good move. By itself, like without Tokiyami's kit, I think it does struggle a bit more. But obviously, the whole point of it is just the shield. Just the shield can be very strong on high level. At low level, it can be quite underwhelming. Not to mention, Tokiyami is small, and All for One is huge and easy to hit. I mean, the shield's not going to cover as much of him, but it's just the shield. You don't have any real other reason to use the quirk at all. Tokiyami, just like, if you want to understand it a bit more, play Tokiyami without the special action, because once again, AFO cannot take the special actions. It's just, yeah, just don't. Yeah, I don't know, just the shield's good, I guess. Purple Bakugo suffers from similar issues that Red Bakugo has, where a lot of his kit is easier to use from above, which if you have the Purple Bakugo quirk, you don't have you're not above them unless you're already up in the air by Red AFO, but then you have to fall anyway. You all know Purple Bakugo Alpha hits really hard. I play a lot of him. The beta's good for both of them. The beta's actually quite good if you hold it down, don't just spam the tap one. And the gamma's good as well. I don't know. It's like it makes him a bit more agile. It makes it a bit more agile. Now keep in mind, when you're shooting a purple Baku and you start to hit, you're also shooting a smaller hitbox than AFO, which is definitely going to come up a lot in these lower tiers. The Gamma, like you could say the Gamma provides movement, but kinda, I don't know, it's really easy to shoot him out the air because AFO's just fat. Even with Bakugo, it's not hard to shoot him out the air. It's just super, super mid. Next we have Momo. Momo, obviously the only part of the kit we're even going to talk about is the Gamma, because the other two would just be useless on AFO who wants to move around all the time. Cannons are good if you want to provide pressure cross map. That's the only thing this can really be used for. I feel bad saying it's useless for that specific scenario because Momo cannons actually can be strong to push something. Like if you want to walk around the map if you're on purple AFO with the Momo quirk, shoot the cannons and swap off immediately and start shooting. I could see that being alright, you know. That's about it. Well, as previously mentioned with Dobby, they can already lock down an environment as it is. They don't need any help with that, which Momo is notably pretty damn good at. Red Endeavor. Playing this character without flow absolutely blows. Yeah, his alpha is not great on a character who doesn't flow. Beta is definitely one of the better moves in the game. I'm sure everybody knows that by now, even after the damage nerf. And Gamma it's okay. It's an okay move. Getting into it. Red Endeavor's once again very good at locking down an environment. That's why a lot of these characters who are down here, like you'll notice a lot of characters down here who are just only good at locking down an environment. Dobby, Momo. Some other characters soon is like that too. Both AFOs are already good at doing that, as previously mentioned. And the biggest issue that this quirk really suffers from, you need you need a level 9 beta at bare minimum to get pretty much any form of value. And Purple AFO can already hit through walls with the pole and the beta, so Prominence Burner really isn't that great. At least it's super, super open. I wouldn't really recommend it, using it too much, if any at all. Something I forgot to mention, Prominence is good on Red AFO, but only on like one map consistently being the second one out of the four, and some other times it's not applicable. Like if you're on the first map, you're not even going to be using Prominence or even the entire Endeavor quirk in the first place. It's just not worth using. Also, you'll be stuck as Red Endeavor for 15 seconds, and he's not the best at doing damage sometimes. He's really awkward. Heck Nej, arguably the biggest offender of I don't have my special action syndrome, doesn't do anything. The alpha's not worth using. The beta's so awkward when you can't float above somebody. Purple Nej's beta is a skill that would only work on a character with float. The Gamma is theoretically movement. You only get one until level 4, but it's just if it weren't for Red AFO, this quirk would just be in the tier below. It's the only reason it may theoretically be good is because if Red AFO wants to drop things from the skybox, that can include Purple Nej Gamma. That's the only reason why she's here. Yellow Kendo. The character's a lot better after the buff, and the quirk does not much better. So, the obvious things about Yellow Kendo that'd be good in AFO, the giant ass shield. That's why she's in niche tier, because the shield's good. Sometimes. It's not great against everything. Like if you're against a huge AoE, which just covers a huge distance, like Yellow AFO Beta, for example. And there's certain skills which still just like completely delete, like Red Deku deletes your shield still. Well, kind of. The rest of our kit, once again, the AFOs don't need any help doing damage, especially in close range, Red AFO in particular. It's just, the shield's really the only part of the kit that's really worth mentioning here. Mount Lady, if it weren't for the goddamn Gamma where she has movement, she would have been the easiest pick of little to no value by far. The only thing worth mentioning is the fact that she has that Gamma. Like Mount Lady's Alpha, she just has negative range and her movement blows, but it's better than Purple AFO's movement, so she's in niche tier. Now we're at OK tier, where chances are if you have the quirk, you'll use it at some point. It won't give you too much value, but it'll be there, I suppose. We're going to start off with Red Denki, whose movement is a pinch better after the buff he just got. I think it was Dispatch. He's only useful for one thing. It's the trick play with a purple AFO. So when you shoot Denki Alphas down, I'll explain this real quick. It creates a little live wire, I believe it's called, where it's a little electric fence, and it will shock you and stun you and do some damage if you run into it for a second or so. Not very strong by itself, but for a character who can put you directly into it, very, very strong. You put four Danky Alphas pretty much on top of each other. They hit a lot. Do the into the charge shot from AFO after a second to let the damage rack up. You just explode. You do so much damage. It's very, very, very lethal. Now, on Red AFO, I believe this quirk is just about useless. The ranges where Red Denki is a threat is very similar to the ranges that Red AFO is a threat. Not completely useless, but it's pretty much there. It also provides a little bit of movement for Purple AFO. The reason why it's up here is almost purely for Purple AFO, just being completely honest. President Mike, where almost all of his damage comes from is pretty much just the boombox, which obviously you don't get because that's a special action. The movement is, it's there. It's better than nothing. And if you're completely out of skills and desperate, Beta Gamma does work. President Mike's Beta, the tap one where it just shoots it out in front of him, could be used as a bit of a matchup move, which you're going to hear me say a few times. I'll explain that in a minute. Because it actually pierces armor. Now that wraps don't pierce armor, it's actually in a bit more high demand. Like if you have a yellow carry on top of you or yellow AFO just completely pushing you, you can stun them with the Mike Beta, hit him with a Gamma, and try to make it away with the other Gammas. You're going to hear me say matchup as we get to the better quirks, because obviously it's a problem for him. AFO has bad matchups against certain characters. I'm not going to name all of them, obviously. But then those characters lose certain quirks. Like, for example, if you're Dino Red Shiggy and you have Green Edge quirk, what the hell is he going to do about it? Super simple stuff. You're going to hear me mention it a few times. Next we have Red Dobby. His movement is super mid. The grab does hurt pretty bad, but that's the issue is that Red Dobby and he kind of works like sometimes. Like I'm factoring in that he just doesn't work and he's not that consistent. Alpha does hit hard enough, but not that AFO needs help with that. I will say, be able to land a grab or two and then just be able to swap back to an AFO, like an actual character who can just do damage as well, is actually very strong. The only reason why, like if Dobby had an actually like normal projectile or third attack, he would be so much better. Just the entire kit happened to be that beta, which is not consistent. Little fun fact, I don't remember what it was. I think I have a clip of it. If you had the red Dobby quirk around, I think it was like the start or end of a certain season, and you turn the gamma on and then you swap back before turning the gamma off, you would just have it on for the rest of the game, which meant you were faster and your quirks did like even your normal skills would do a lot more damage. And even like if you turn on the red Dobby quirk and then you grabbed a yellow Deku quirk, that would get the boost as well. I don't remember how you had to turn it off, but it was possible. Super funny stuff though. Next is Purple Toga. Her movements. So, I mean, we've all had an experience where, I'll explain this real quick, where just can't shoot a Purple Toga. She's just so hard to hit. That's because Toga is itty bitty. That beta is not hard to track when it's on AFO. Like it's not crazy easy, but it's not hard. AFO's big fat ass is gonna get hit by you if you're shooting at him. Sorry. That's pretty much it. I mean, the alpha's good in certain scenarios, but not like AFO needs help doing damage. The gamma literally, why would you ever use it? You don't get blood. It's just the beta. That's the only reason why it's up here. Next we have Mirko. I have a clip of me using it on my channel the day she came out. If you want to look at that, for reference, it is not great on him because Mirko's movement is actually not that good, and without special action, it is very much not that good. You're only using it for the alpha to bounce on the ground 3 or 4 times and try to get away. It's the only reason you're using it, and you know what? That's not terrible. Movement is very, very important because I'm going to take the time to explain this. Purple AFO has zero movement. He's one of like, what, 10 characters in the game, maybe, who don't have movement. That obviously is a big problem for somebody who gets focused as hard as him. Great, he has 400 HP, but he has no movement. He will just die. He's like one of the biggest targets. Oh, let's just focus him. Like if you play a Borrow, you'll know you just get focused a lot of the time because you have no movement. Movement is also very good for Red AFO because it really pushed him over the distance. Like Gamma's one of your offensive moves. Say you miss a Gamma and you get hit with a Red Deku Beta. Okay, cool. You're gonna run away now. You pop one Red AFO Gamma, you get away. You're still within his range. You're not really safe yet. But if you have a different quirk, like for example, Mirko, you can just use those and get away. It's very, very important for both characters because they both want to be moving because they're such big threats. I'm just gonna rip the band-aid off because all of you love talking about it twice in my comments. Twice is here and OK tier. Twice's Gamma is pretty okay for movement. That's pretty much it. The clone is unreliable on AFO. It's not as good as it is on just Twice. The alpha isn't really worth using. There's not much more to really talk about. Trust me, I love getting the Twice quirk for reasons I believe should be pretty obvious if you know me at all. That's pretty much it. Right, you can theoretically rain a clone down from up top of the map, which is very, very funny if you're playing Red AFO. That's about it though. Here we have Purple AFO quirk. So this is interesting. If you have Purple AFO quirk on Purple AFO, stay with me now. I know this can get a little confusing. You effectively just have a no cooldown, just reset all your cooldowns button, which is pretty interesting, to be honest. I'll be honest, Purple AFO's cooldowns are actually really short as it is. It's really not that bad, at least when you're high level. The only notable part about it for Purple is the trick play, where you pull so you don't get anybody. The enemies are like, okay, I have a few seconds to heal or whatever. Or maybe now I'll fly away, hop in the air where I can't roll, so I can't dodge the gamma. You can swap back to the Purple AFO or swap back to your own, whatever, and you can pull again. It's the trick play. It actually does work. Not too common you get it, but the problem with that is you don't have any movement. You're just Purple AFO. Purple AFO quirk on Red AFO is quite good. I feel that's really what brings it up here to okay and not niche, because Purple AFO's abilities are very good. The alpha is very good. It's better than Red's. The beta is good. It's better than Red's in scenarios, and Purple AFO Gamma is still one of the best moves in the game. It's kind of limiting because it doesn't really give you the main things you want to look for in a quirk for Red AFO, but it's still strong, so you can get away with it, methinks. Next, we have Yellow Endeavor. This is a quirk which is only up here strictly because of Red AFO. Putting it up an OK is debatable, to be honest. If you told me it was niche, I would not blame you. For Purple AFO, don't even use it. For Red AFO, it's pretty good. If you watch my video, or if you just know, yeah, the whole video on what makes Red AFO actually like a good character, even if he's not like particularly amazing. That guy likes to sit up in the air and he likes to rain down betas at you. And whatever other abilities he has. This is gonna come up a few other times past here. If you were around when Monoma Endeavor was a thing, Monoma Yellow Endeavor, oh my god, it's pretty much the same thing except not nearly as bad. The reason why it's not higher is because I believe if you swap to it, you need to fall back to the ground before your 15 seconds is up, and you can swap back to AFO, which will allow you to stay in the air more. Spamming betas and gammas from all the way up in the sky, very very strong strategy on whoever gets the quirk. Next we have Red Shiggy. I believe this one might be one people disagree with me with on, because Red Shiggy is strong and Red AFO is not great at like large building or indoors management. The only reason why you'd ever use this quirk is the beta, obviously, just like the entire character of Red Shiggy. Collapse Hand is good, but AFO doesn't get that. And you're not always, like, if you're Red AFO, beta's typically the last thing you level up, if I'm being serious, if we're really being realistic here. And on purple, it's not commonly the first, I would not recommend, meaning that you're not often going to be getting the max value out of the Shiggy quirk. It can be good on the second map and like indoor scenarios on other ones, but I don't know. That's it. It also gets purple AFO a bit of movement. If it weren't for the movement part, I would say it's niche, but just because of that, I'll put it here. Finishing off the OK tier, we have Yellow Kiri, Yellow Idro, whatever you want to say. I guess it's movement. I guess the alpha and maybe the beta. I don't know. You need low level. This quirk is completely useless. If you swap to it, you are genuinely throwing. It is very funny though. I will say that. It does hit very hard, but once again, the AFOs don't need help doing damage. If you get level 9 alpha or beta, and or once again beta issue, but alpha is something you can reasonably get to level 9 of the AFOs. You can use it, get out. You can just get out a little bit. It's alright movement. But if you thought Idro gets blown up before, yellow specifically Idro, dude, see him with a bigger hitbox and a special action. It's crazy. Gamma is also a good pull ender for purple AFO. Moving on to definite value tier, you can imagine what that means, but I'll explain it. Basically, if you have the quirk, I feel very confident that you're definitely going to get value, like go to consistent value a handful of times while you have the quirk, at least. This tier is absolutely huge, by the way. I'm very curious to see how much of the video this takes up in a post. We're going to start off with Red Hawks, who was going to be a tier above, but I kind of deemed that his movement was kind of too awkward and stagnant. I mean, thinking about it, the Gamma doesn't send you too far without the special action. The alpha is without special action, the speed you already have on it, it's not very great for movement, and the beta leaves you standing still. The whole reason why I think it's good is because Red Hawks is very good. I have a clip of it. I don't think I've uploaded yet. Where I'm playing AFO, I'm just beating somebody up. It's another matchup thing. It's just very, very strong. Red Hawks is very, very good right now. I'm sure as you know. That's about it really. And it just provides some form of movement as well. Next we have the Red Deku Quirk, which I'm sure a lot of people would say would be lower, but the movement on the Gamma is really not terrible. It's not great. Beta hits very hard. I think it's the second highest damage move in the game at 270 by base. Don't ask me why. It just is. And the alpha is a matchup thing. Like if you're getting beat on by a Nej, for example, you can swap to Deku, clobber him. I play a lot of red Deku, so I guess I'm somewhat qualified to say it. I think it's good. I think you're definitely going to swap to it at some point, give value, even if it's just for the gamma, and you're not like great at doing the zoom in alphas, or if you're like a controller player where it's naturally harder. I think it's good. Blue Bakugo, this is a weird case. Try to play it. I encourage you, if you don't really understand, to go into training and play him without special action. You need to press Gamma to get up in the air, but it does give you a good little boost. Gamma Alpha is good to get away. The Beta is not terrible as well. You can still do Beta Gamma Alpha on somebody if you just want to swap like mode. Somebody's rolling all your AFO abilities. Like, all right, we'll try with Bakugo this time. You know what I'm saying? You can also just do Jump Alpha, which is really good for movement because Blue Bakugo's Alpha pushes you back. It's half the point of the character. Yeah, I think it's pretty solid. If you had the special action, it would definitely be higher though. Next, we have Yellow Uraka. When we describe the next tier's name, I think you'll understand better why she's not higher. Yellow Uraka is very good. Very, very strong right now. Very, very much able to just murder you. That is partly due to her melees, which AFO has. AFO's melees are not great. They're kind of high damage, but they're really not great. I'll be serious. The range on them isn't exactly what you want them to be for a lot of these characters. Like with Twice, if that like his melees better, Twice would have been better as well. The movement's okay. The platform's not bad. You kind of need a high level for it to really be high value a lot of the time, though. Like, Ellie Rock is really scary in close range, which AFO kind of already is. That's kind of also why she's not better. I don't know, it's just like, it's good to have. Like, I feel like I'm downplaying a little bit, like, but not talking about why it's good. Like, it's very good damage. The movement's good as well, and the game is not bad tech, and it's a good matchup thing. Like, if you're fighting a Red Kendo who's just holding the beta in front of you, swap to Uraka. She's not gonna know, bro. You'll punish her for, like, upwards of, like, 300. Matchup thing, like I was saying, you know? Red Toto. Gamma is quite good for movement even after the nerf. His range, like if you're sneaking up on somebody and they're like healing or rezzing or something, swap the Toto, get the Gamma off, get your three or who cares how many alphas in. Very, very strong, a lot of damage. Movement's good. Beta can be a good close range option if you're fighting somebody who's like very oppressive in close range that can really shut them down with the high damage. And it also lets you like lock yourself in a corner, which can be useful sometimes. Just overall, very well-rounded quirk from a very, very well-rounded character. Purple Danky, without special action in the sky, is not perfect, I'll be honest. If the movement was better, I'd say he'd definitely be higher. He's definitely on the cusp of being at the next tier above. This is a quirk which is more good because it just lets you do more instead of like covering your weaknesses, which is what you typically look for, similar to how I was bringing up like Purple AFO. Because that alpha, man, it's good. You got a Nagant shooting you from afar and trying to run away after you alpha her a few times. Dude, swap to Danky, maybe you'll get a lucky down. You got a Modema up in the sky, or even like a red AFO up in the sky, and Edge. Swap to Danky, get some shots in. It won't be too fast, and now they see when you're auto aimed on them, so you are going to get focused to a degree, which you already were in AFO, but it's good. Beta's not very remarkable. The game is okay movement. It's pretty damn solid quirk though. Up next we have Yellow All Might, who would have been lower if he didn't just get his buff with his beta. I'm a PC player, but I'm kind of acting like you have the full use of the beta. Like I know the FPS is an issue with the beta right now, which is super annoying. It's super stupid. I'm just acting like you have the full beta effectively. The movement's good on it. Sometimes with like the lower tier quirks, like I mentioned with like if you were to swap up to Twice for movement purposes, for example, and you catch somebody along the way and need to hit them, um, you are going to be hitting them very hard. But if you do swap to All Might, you'll still be doing a lot of damage because the Alpha hits very hard. Not to mention, Tornado is very, very strong ability. Like if you're literally need a team heal, you already swapped to the quirk. Very easy just to waste the last 5 seconds or however long you need just waiting for the team heal just by becoming invulnerable to 99% of the attacks in the game. Very, very strong ability. Very slept on. Good movement, good tech, capabilities with the Gamma. Overall, pretty good. Up next, we have Purple All Might, actually. The beta is good for movement. The range is not always too clear on how far it is. I also don't play him very much. That kind of carries the quirk, to be honest. The Gamma is interesting, but chances are, without special action, you're not going to be staying on the quirk too long. I think it's just the beta which really carries the quirk. Not much else to really report on there, to be honest. The freeze and fire damage is okay, I guess. Next, we have Nagant. Feels a little weird having Nagant quirk so low when she's consistently been top 3 since release. The alpha's good. The alpha's good damage. If you're out of shots and you shoot somebody and it goes really far, that's a perfectly good quirk. The Gamma is quite good for movement. It's quite hard to track you when you move. Of course, it's coming from smaller Nagant and not big ass AFO. What's really stopping it from being better is one, obviously, no special action, no instantly look at you and you die, fuck you button. Also, just no double jump and the no god melees that she has. That really hurt because Nagant's double jump is super broken, and part of why she is super broken. Without that, the quirk feels kind of hollow. You're mainly using it for the gamma. Also, you can do the beta, the air stall, like the raining terror from above, whatever you want to say, with red AFO as well. The beta's good at that and lets you stay in the air for a while with Nagon. I believe Nagon's one of the quirks which lets you never have to land as red AFO. If you had to ask me which character I'm least confident about in this list, it is Yellow Overall because I cannot play him and I do hate him, so I don't really try. Sorry, Yellow Overall is the unkillable man. You can't hit him. You get punished if you do. He can just really blow you up with a I don't know which combos you're able to really do, but I think you're still able to do like Gamma Beta Hold Alpha, which is like a guard break most of the time at higher levels. Very good, very good. It gives you some decent enough movement. It makes you pretty hard to hit. Overall, very solid for a character like AFO specifically, who like wants to get focused all the time. Next, we have Red Kendo. Good movement. If you know how to do the beta into gamma in the air, you can go very far. I mentioned at the very beginning of the video that melees are different in AFO, and I mentioned a few other times. I'm sure I will. But it actually works pretty well with Kendo. Like you still keep the momentum pretty well, so that's pretty good. Even if you don't have like the verticality boost for half a second with your other melee, which is very very good. And not to mention, beta is a good tech move. The alpha after the damage nerf, I wouldn't say it's very useful on AFO. Even before, I wouldn't really say. But it's a good tech move to have the beta. It really just it's a good matchup button. Like it's just people are very scared of Red Kendo beta, so they'll probably run away. Once again, on a character who needs to be focused like the AFOs, that's very good. Yellow Deku, pretty much only really good for the movement. Where if you don't have level 9 Black Whip, it's kind of mid. But you have the kick. I think that's about it really. Because like if you get stuck with Yellow Deku, you're not incompetent as well. There's really very very little report on. Just movement, man with gun, kick. I don't know, very rare. Like somebody's spamming unarmored attacks near you, like a Mirko or something, you could try to press beta. Maybe that would help. I don't know, man. Blue Deku is a similar situation to Gaunt, where he's been top 3 since release. I don't really know who else would be above him since release, but whatever. But without the melees, he is literally a shell of the character. When you pop Blue Deku Gamma and you get into 5th gear, you land a single melee string, you have it. On AFO, you need to land 3 melee strings. Once again, his melees are not great, so that's actually hard to do, meaning you're not going to get the overdrive gamma where you auto track and you're not going to get the big beta. So when we talk about this, imagine he's just Blue Deku Alpha, the normal dash beta, and just the little dash gamma. That's pretty much the entire character. It's not bad because Blue Deku Alpha is very, very strong. The movement's not terrible. It hits pretty hard as well. And the little movement boost from Gamma is not bad either. That is not, unfortunately, is not much to report on. If he got 5th gear from just one set of melees, it could theoretically be better, but it's not, so. Tamaki, or how my friends and I have so very, very generously named him, Thomas Keys. The movement's alright. If you hit somebody with a beta and you go invisible, you're pretty fast and you can get away pretty easy. Also just using the beta for movement in general's not bad. You could argue that it could be in the tier above if they didn't nerf the whips, which I think would be pretty valid. Tamaki without melees is kind of rough though, to be honest. Gamma's also a very good tech move. Like if your teammate's low and pretty far away, you don't have like much movement to get over there. Say you're out of Gammas on red AFO, or you have no movement because you're purple AFO. You can press cannon. I mean, it's very very good in that sense if you get good with it. It's very easy just to spam as well. They can kind of just roll out of it if you miss it. Just good movement. Whip is good, and Gamma's good. Not much else to really report on. Next we have Blue Hawks. This is pretty much just good movement. The gamma's good for movement if you do the melee after. The alpha is really whatever. I don't recommend using it too much, to be honest. It's really awkward. And the beta is good even if you don't hit somebody for movement. There's not much else to report on. Also, not to mention, Blue Hawk's just like Red Dobby is a character who really suffers from like you need to hit a certain move to really get value. So like it's not as bad. Like if you miss the Blue Hawk's beta or you use it all on the character you're fighting still at half health, say it's like a red key or something who takes a lot of damage, you can still continue the fight to swap back to AFO. That is notably good on him. No special action, like no Hawk special action. Definitely hurts. Definitely a pretty solid quirk, especially if you go Blue Hawks. Stars and Stripes. There's a trick play with purple AFO. Well, not really trick play. You can do the pull as AFO into a star beta, or you do a charge shot from AFO into a star beta, and then just slam like 1 or 2 alphas into a grab. You can grab multiple people at once. You get the idea. The movement's also it's all right. It's better than nothing. Way better than nothing, especially for purple. Um, I think that makes it pretty solid, to be honest. I think you're definitely going to get value out of it. And I think it's worth trying the trick play. It's pretty risky because there's characters like Mirios who can either counter or just fly straight out of it and hit you. It's good. It's definitely good to have. I recommend getting it. Next is Blue Toga. Similar issues to W Blue Hawks, where she has low abilities, or if you miss, it's really, really punishing, but it doesn't matter if you have two different sets of abilities which do damage. The movement's okay. We all know that's easy to shoot Blue Toga out of her Gamma. It's way better than nothing, to be honest. That's pretty much it. Yellow Shiggy would have been way higher if they didn't. He was good for one patch, dude. They finally got Yellow Shiggy right. First time he was good since pretty much release. He was like, we could do the Gamma Beta, Gamma Beta. I know it was annoying, but like, now he just sucks. Yellow Shiggy's just so bad now, but whatever. The Gamma's good for movement. The rest is not worth reporting on. Shinso's okay movement. He's a bit of a matchup button. Like if you're fighting like before the Wrap nerf, he would have been higher as well, just like Tamaki. If you're fighting somebody who like really struggles to wrap characters, like Suyu for example, who really needs to run away, and you're able to wrap her down, it's really good. That's about it. It also gives you good enough movement, you know. Gamma's pretty much useless. Moving on to different playstyles tier. I believe this is like one of the only ones that actually requires explanation, like the tier names. I feel like you just play the game differently if you have one of these. You're able to take more risks, or you're able to support better, or you're able to hang out in the air more. They'll be explained as I get to the quirks, but I'm gonna repeat myself. It just lets you play the game differently. First up, we have Froppy. Great movement, and you can get away with a lot. That boils down pretty much everything I'm about to say. I think we all know Froppy's movement is very good. She's very annoying. One of Froppy's biggest issues is that she's 250 HP. AFO sure shit is not. He's either, I think red AFO is 350 and purple is 400. Very, very, very strong in that regard. You're able to like play a lot more aggro. Like for example, is red AFO. You're able to use both gamuts in a fight. Then if you get low, oh shit, let me swap to Froppy and get away then. That's what I mean by it's able to let you play different. You're able to push people's purple AFO without being too scared. Very, very strong quirk on All for One, both of them. Blue obviously this doesn't really matter because you don't have special action, but Blue has the best movement in the game. Very largely due to his teleport, but he just has the best in the game. It's a very, very similar situation to Froppy. If you're low, Blue Beta is one of, by far, the safest wake-up options in the game. Arguably, well, no, the safest option in the game is Mirio TP, but one of the very, very safest, especially that AFO has access to. You can just play risky. You gotta be careful with the beta. Honestly, you just don't have to be stupid, and you'll be fine. Super, super good. Also, Mirio, if you're quite good with Mirio, you're able to do some damage to him as well. Blue All Might, very, very simple to understand. The beta is really good for movement, even with only 3 or 2, and not having the upwards of 4 betas, because that was ridiculous when that was a thing. Very, very strong quirk. I see why All for One wanted to get One for All. Yeah, the grab's also a good button. Like, I mean, it just hits so hard, especially if you're leveling up gamma damage on red AFO like I do. The grab is over. I think I just tested yesterday. It's 286 the grab with my fixer build. I think I'm missing like one thing to make it like fully specced out and max. It's just, yeah. Also, if you're having troubles with Nej or anybody who floats in the air for a while, the blue on my beta is very, very good. Yeah, I think that's about it. Aizawa quirk is strong because Aizawa's character is still broken. He's been very good for a very long time. Matchup button. You can do, I mean, Gamma Alpha into Slam Alpha is 350 still. Yeah, it's very good movement. You're quite hard to hit, even as AFO's big fat ass. Yeah, I think it's really good. I think it's definitely like a matchup button. It lets you fight characters who are really close range. Like it gives you a better chance against Tokoyami or Blue Deku or Mirko, for example, right? Gives you a better chance against those characters. Quite strong. We're gonna get into what is possibly one of the most interesting we've talked about so far, the red AFO quirk. Once again, if you watched my video on it, I have the math right there. My red AFO video. If you get this on purple AFO, this is easier and shorter, so we'll go through this first. Basically, you're literally just red AFO, which is with 400 HP and like what 5% less damage. Who cares? So yeah, you have great movement. You have even more area control capabilities. Super, super strong. Not to mention people might just not know which AFO you are. That could be confusing. That's actually a really funny idea. On red AFO, this is where things get very, very out of hand. So I'll explain the math real quick. Basically, it's 15 seconds to swap between quirks, whether that's you swap into your own or swap into the enemies. AFO can stay in the air for bare minimum 20 seconds. No matter what level, bare minimum. What you can do is, you can do your gamma alpha up, like where you enhance the gamma with your alpha. Then you press beta, you tap alpha twice, then you can recharge it because the beta costs 50%. Then you press another one down, then you can press another one down. By the time that's all said and done, you have another gamma, blah blah blah. You can just do it all over again. Swap to AFO quirk, red one, and literally you never have to land again. You can just re-embed it down from the top of the map for the rest of the game until somebody stops you, if somebody stops you. Because there are characters who can't do that. Like if the final team is a red Bakugo, yellow Kiri, and Mirko, they literally can't do anything, and they instant lose. Next is Kirigiri, also one of the safest wake up options in the game, being Kirigiri beta. Very, very strong. Even without the purple AFO triplet, which I'm about to get into in a minute, is very, very good. Because just, the alpha hits hard enough, but it's not really why you're using it. The beta is very strong. You can kidnap people, it does high damage, it's a good combo button. Like beta does a lot. It's close to a guard break level 9, I believe. Very, very strong. All you need to do is just like, you just play AFO, except act like you have a portal in your pocket, which you do at all times. With purple AFO, there's a very, very strong trick play, where if you when you pull this purple AFO, you got the giant red bubble around you, you remember when to roll. Easy enough, right? Basically, you place down a Kirigiri portal, swap back to purple AFO, you start holding down gamma, and then right before the actual thing pops and you bring people towards you, you walk through the Kirigiri portal, so there's no time to react, and you get free pulls on any minute area. Super broken, super, super strong. You could argue it could be above, to be honest, but I wouldn't blame you. But I think it's super, super good. Green Nej, very, very strong quirk. You become a support all for one. We all know how strong Green Nej is, and it's not just because of her damage capabilities. You can heal your teammate's shield and GP. Green Nej Beta is one of the harder hitting moves in the game. It's top like 40 or 30, I believe. In terms of how, it's like 170 base. Very, very strong, of course. And that gamma is very, very strong. There's not much else to really port on. You get some okay movement. I don't know. You also get some good air stall. On red AFO, you can support your team while being at the top of the map, which is actually quite funny. Depending on who you ask, of course. But even on purple AFO, it's good. Last character for different playstyle, you have yellow AFO. This is the biggest example of, if it's good on purple AFO, I'll rank him here. If it's good on red AFO, I'll rank him here. Right? Because I think on purple AFO, it's niche at best. Because that sounds kind of crazy because yellow AFO has always been a strong character. But think about it. If you're getting shot out of your gamma as yellow AFO, you fly away. If you're getting shot out of your yellow AFO gamma on purple AFO, you just die. Beta's okay, he can already lock down an environment, but it's not bad, I guess. On red AFO, it is absolutely diabolical. One of the quirks where you never need to land if you have it, just like Green Nej. This is prime air stall red AFO. What we can do is you can throw down 3 betas as red AFO. Then you can throw down your tap beta as yellow AFO, which is almost impossible to react to if you're not looking at it. And then you can throw down your huge charge beta, sit in gamma for a while, maybe get a down or guard break, support your team, sit in your gamma for 15 seconds, or whatever the remaining time is, probably like 9 seconds. Hang out there, swap back to red AFO after the cooldown, and all is well and done. Super, super strong. On only red though. We are now on to the very, very best quirk in the game. I think it's pretty easy to agree on for the most part. It is titled Can Replace AFO Quirk. I play a lot of both AFO, I always have. There's certain times where you pick up a quirk as AFO, and you just don't swap off for the rest of the game. I'm not saying that's the requirement to be in this tier, because if you're playing like Bleak Rocket Cicada we're talking about, if you're back inside, you probably swap back to the purple AFO, for example, but there's a chance you won't if you're playing on the first map, you know? And that's the whole point of it, like, where you're able to reasonably want to sit on that quirk for the rest of the game and just forget your AFO. That's the whole point of the tier. We are going to start off with what I just mentioned, Blue Uraka. Blue Uraka has been very, very good since around Season 7 when they gave her a few buffs. Very, very strong character. Does so much damage, can pretty much TOD you. If you're at lower HP and she's high level, can actually TOD you if she knows what the hell she's doing. God tier movement. You can't fight her at close ranges, and even if you do, she can just run away. At long ranges, it's just so hard to hit her. Of course, she's a bit easier to shoot because you are playing fat-ass AFO. The gamma is also very good. It's a good matchup button. Once again, like red Kendo or red Kiri, you can just press that and you're kind of screwed. Basically, you become 400 HP Bleed Rocket. You sacrifice the special action and a slightly smaller hitbox. You become 400 HP Bleed Rocket. This is unreasonable. You know how many people complain that Bleed Rocket is too bulky? 300 HP is too much. Dude, imagine with 400 HP. That's purple AFO. That's just crazy. That easily makes it, if you want to consider this S tier, I don't think it's the right way to describe it, but very, very, very good. Very good. Next, we have Tenya. 400 HP Tenya. That's the main idea. Of course, you're not able to run up walls, but honestly, I play a good amount of Tenya. A lot more back then, but I still play him a good amount now. You don't need it. You really don't need it. You only need it because you're super frail as Tenya. You have, I think he's 300 HP now, which is really questionable, but now he's 400 HP if you're playing all for one. But what's even better, you literally never have to burn out at all, ever. To swap out back to AFO when you're at 15%, or even if it's comfortable to burn out, just burn out. You literally never have to burn out, which is a little weird considering this can replace, in quotations, AFO QUIRK, but you're fine. Watch, it's 15 seconds. Like if you're low and you don't want to stand still, you can just swap back, you know? It's very, very strong. Tenya's kit is super, super hard to fight. Like fighting Tenya is hard enough as it is. Fighting Tenya, who can at any given point swap to purple or red AFO, is super. It's almost impossible. I feel it's just so strong. Tenya is a very good character. Not much else to report on there. This whole tier is kind of just be a little repetitive. You become red Ijiro, where I think out of all the characters in this tier, you're probably the weakest compared to the original character. Red Kiri is very, very good. Once again, been very broken since it came out. He just kills you. It's almost impossible to fight him. That shield, special action, which you don't have an AFO, but whatever. Armor on the Gamma, very, very good. Very good movement, I feel, if you know the tech, it isn't that hard. Gamma's a good matchup button. In case you're losing like an airborne character or a gun character in particular. Shield just doesn't let you get focused. Like if they wanted your shield, you can just do 300 plus to them, and then they have to run away. They have to respect that because you're ready, Jiro. If not, they lose. Just unkillable, man. Very, very strong word. I want to clarify real quick. Back when I was on Bleed Rocket and Tenya, I know Red AFO is 350, but every character in this tier, other than Jiro, has 300 or lower anyway, so it doesn't actually matter. Just you have more HP. Next we have Monoma, which I believe is the most interesting up in this tier, actually. So, I mean, this is kind of obvious. So, you could argue potential, man, but like, the way this works on AFO, take a minute to explain this. You swap to Monoma, say you hit Yellow Deku with your Alpha, you still have the Monoma quirk. Still the Monoma Alpha. Until you swap off. Then you have Yellow Deku Alpha and your other two Monoma abilities. Meaning you kind of just get to choose what you have for the rest of the game. So, say you have Monoma Quirk, you see a, you're playing Purple AFO. You see a Tenya, he hits you, because he doesn't know you have Monoma Quirk, for example. You have Tenya Gamma, which is probably just the best one for Monoma, next to the Purple AFO pull. Then you get, I don't know, you're fooling around and you stumble upon a Purple Denki Beta. Very, very strong. And for your Alpha, you get, sure, Red Endeavor. Why not? Or Purple AFO. Why not? And you just become, you're such a god tier offensive build. Or you can have like Blue Mirio Alpha with Blue Bakugo Beta and Yellow Overhaul Gamma, like strong movement options, you know? The possibilities are genuinely limitless. But the best part, the real kicker in the head, he doesn't get the 20% nerf. I have no clue why. I didn't know that until yesterday either. My friend told me, when you copy a quirk as Monoma, you get 20% less damage on your abilities because he was stupid broken and he needed to be nerfed. But it's just crazy. Meaning, if you have the right characters and they cooperate with you enough, you can just have any build in the game. Plus AFO, plus pull, plus your god tier air stall. Like, so strong. Not to mention, Monoma's beta is just good for movement in general, even if you don't have a quirk. Like, you're not confident with it, you just use that, and the game is really strong as well. Arguably the best in the game, to be honest. If somebody had to ask me, I'd say, like, Monoma's theoretically the best, obviously. Next is Tech Mirio. You are 400 or 350 HP Purple Mirio. Fighting him is hard as it is, to be honest, especially landing a hit. Yeah, there's not much else to go on. Movement's really good because you can just phase through walls with your alpha or beta. For a character who needs to be focused, like the AFOs do, being able to just counter and hard punish whoever was even like think of shooting you, or just being able to phase away from everybody. Super, super strong work. Purple Mirio's obviously very strong. Every character in this tier is either quite good to very, very strong. So you're gonna hear me say that a lot. Well, not much strong for this tier, but Cementos is very good. It's good movement, I guess if you want to call it that. We all know what it's like fighting a good Cementos in endgame. It's pretty much the same on AFO, except you have more HP, but you don't have the res. So, that's that. Cementos is very good. His abilities are very, very strong. They cover some AFO's weaknesses, especially purple. Not much else to really report on there. Very strong. Purple Shiggy. You're gonna hear me repeat myself. Purple Shiggy is a very strong character, and you have a shit ton of HP. Something. I mean, like, there's not much else to really report on. It gives you walls, so you can just see where somebody is, and then see if you want to pull or beta somebody as purple AFO, which is very good if you wanted to do that. Say if you're not confident in purple Shig quirk. Not to mention, you actually can run hyper regeneration, which is absolutely hilarious. My AFO build for purple in particular is hyper regeneration and wrench assault, meaning that if you crack somebody's shield and have gamma on, which is not hard to do on purple Shig, you have double. You have double the effect on it. It's absolutely ridiculous. And you take 20% less damage. It's completely unreasonable. And it's very good. That's not, of course, what makes the quirk strong, but it's pretty much just we all know Purple Shiggy. Purple Shiggy is very good. Last one we're talking about today, because Mike comes out in a few days, and I'm recording this and posting this before Mike comes out. Mr. Compress. Mr. Compress is so hard to track, because he has the Smoke Cloud, he has the Action Marbles now. Very, very strong character. Well, I think Mr. Compress is like top 15. Like, 15th best in the character in the game in general. Like, not even like any higher than that, really. But Beta is very good for somebody who needs to get hard focused. I like AFO, you hear me say that a bunch. You have the Gamma as well, which is just, it's such a get out of jail free card. You have the armor on it, Raps can't hit you anymore. Very few things can really break you out of Gamma. Level 9 you get 2. Very strong ability. The Alpha is good as well, like you just don't need to play AFO anymore.